Hi guys, welcome to the 6.5 writing equations from graphs. In this video I'm going to show you the steps to be able to look at a parabola on a graph and be able to write the equation that matches that parabola. So the first step you want to do is you want to find the vertex on that parabola, so that's right where the center point is that it changes from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. And remember that point is called the vertex, which is your h and k. And you also want to find one other point on the parabola. Then you want to plug those values into the vertex form y equals a times parentheses x minus h quantity squared plus k. And you want to solve for a. Once you get a, you're going to plug in a and your vertex into the vertex form. And if you need to convert to standard form, you can just by distributing and combining like terms. So let's take a look at what that looks like. All right, so for our first example, is this parabola. Now we know that it has a negative a because it's pointing downwards. So we have a maximum point like we talked about today. So first thing you want to do is identify that parabola, or the vertex, and that's the center point, which you can see here is your 3, 1, because that's in the center. Then you want to find one other point that's on the parabola, and I would suggest not using the y-intercept, maybe finding another point, but you can find the y-intercept if you want. But for me, I use 6, negative 2, and then you're going to plug it into vertex form. So remember the vertex form is y equals a times parentheses x minus h quantity squared plus k. So we have our 3 and our 1 that we can plug into h and k. And our negative 2, our 6 and negative 2 that we can plug into the x and y. So I just took those values that we found in the beginning and I plugged them in where they go. So negative 2 is your y, 6 is your x, 3 is your h, and 1 is the k. And then we're going to go ahead and solve for a. So first thing I would do is subtract 1 from both sides. So you get negative 3 equals a times 3 squared. You could take 3 squared, which is 9. And 9 times a is 9a. Then to get rid of the 9, we divide by 9 on both sides. And when you reduce it, you divide by 3 on the top of the bottom, so you get negative 1 over 3. So now that we know what a equals, we can go and plug it into our vertex form. So if you notice, we put a there, and our h and k is right here. So that's h, and that's your k. And you have the answer. All right, so for this one, I can tell it's going to be a positive a because it's opening upward. So our vertex is our minimum. So first let's find the vertex, which is 0, 1. And then we can find one more point on the graph. Now remember, we want it to be where it matches all 4 corners. And when I'm talking about 4 corners is you can see how this box right here has 4 boxes in it, right? There's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and here. So that's 4 little boxes. You want the line to cross right where those 4 corners are, either going that way or coming down this way, whichever direction. So we're looking for another point on the graph, on the parabola, that actually crosses that. And you can see there's one right there at 1, 4. So now we're going to use the vertex form, and we're going to replace y, x, h, and k, and we're going to solve for a. So those are the things we're leaving alone. We replace y with the 4, and the x with the 1, and then the h with the 0, and a k with a 1, and that's where they all go into where they belong. And now you're going to subtract 1 on each side, giving you 3 equals a times parentheses 1 minus 0 squared. So 1 minus 0 is just 1, and 1 squared is also just 1. Also, a times the 1 is also just a, therefore 3 equals a. So now that you know what a equals, you can use your vertex form again and substitute in everything that you know. So we're going to change the h and the k over, and now we know what a equals. So a, h, and k we're changing. So we have y equals 3 this time from our a, parentheses x minus 0 squared plus 1. So in this problem, we're actually going to go a step further and distribute like it said in the directions. So because x minus 0 is nothing, so that would just mean x squared. And 3 times x squared is just 3x squared. So your final answer would be y equals 3x squared minus 1. Go Seahawks. Woo!